But the good thing today is every car is linked to the owner's Ghana card. And so we don't need to have the old toll gates and those cards that you stand and open and all that. We'll just go straight digitalized. If it's one city, if you cross the East Legon Bridge, Governor and Finance Minister will all be happy. We'll just take a picture of your car and then it will take the bill to your mobile money or your bank account and just pay one cedi, only one cedi. The first is talking about a reset that is anchored in past reforms and achievements, particularly from our previous administration, that were either abandoned or undermined, leading to costly reversals. And so that's going down the path of history. The second is a reset for the future, one that embraces innovation, transparency, and shared growth. A reset designed to restore confidence and elevate our economy through bold but responsible leadership. So let us begin with where we lost our footing, because it is said that for those who don't learn the lessons of the past, they are bound to make the same mistakes. Between 2013 and 2016, my administration took bold steps to deepen Ghana's domestic and external financial markets. Under ministers like Dr. Kwabena Dufo and later Mr. Setekpe, who we are privileged to have here with us, and in partnership with the central bank and commercial banks, we introduced medium and long-term domestic bonds, listed them on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and operationalized the Central Securities Depository to improve transparency and liquidity. And so they've been talking about, what the modality should be and all that. But the good thing today is every car is linked to the owner's Ghana card. And so we don't need to have the old toll gates and those cards that you stand and open and all that. We'll just go straight digitalized. If it's one city, if you cross the East Legon Bridge, Governor and Finance Minister will all be happy. We'll just take a picture of your car and then it will take the bill to your mobile money or your bank account and just pay one cedi, only one cedi. So things are looking up. I'm happy to see my friend Subi. He sold me my first EV car, a little nippy Wuling Chinese car. And today my boys quarrel over who should use it, because they don't pay petrol, they don't pay electricity. The charger is in my house. So they come and park it and plug it in. And when it has a full charge, 330 kilometers, they are good to go. And so, Subi, I'm happy to see you again. But happy to see all of you in a different capacity today. Nana Akufo-Addo would have said, levels don't change. So good morning, and I'm happy to be here as the President of the Republic of Ghana. I have just a short statement, and it is my honor and pleasure to address you at this year's CEO Summit, an event that has over the years become the foremost platform for strategic thinking and engagement and public-private partnerships. It brings together the nation's most influential economic actors, and it is heartening to note how your community has maintained your resolve even through the trying times of the recent past. This year's theme, Leading Ghana's Economic Reset, Transforming Business and Governance for a Sustainable Futuristic Economy, could not have been more appropriate. It challenges us to examine where we have come from, acknowledge where we have faltered, and above all, define where we must go as a nation. Today, I wish to structure my remarks around two broad ideas. The first is talking about a reset that is anchored in past reforms and achievements, particularly from our previous administration, that were either abandoned or undermined, leading to costly reversals. And so that's going down the path of history. The second is a reset for the future, one that embraces innovation, transparency, and shared growth. A reset designed to restore confidence and elevate our economy through bold but responsible leadership. So let us begin with where we lost our footing, because it is said that for those who don't learn the lessons of the past, they are bound to make the same mistakes. Between 2013 and 2016, my administration took bold steps to deepen Ghana's domestic and external financial markets. Under ministers like Dr. Kwabena Dufo and later Mr. Setekwe, who we are privileged to have here with us, and in partnership with the central bank and commercial banks, we introduced medium and long-term domestic bonds, listed them on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and operationalized the Central Securities Depository to improve transparency and liquidity. We went further. Ghana became one of the few African countries to issue a $200 million denominated domestic bond, a strategic innovation that supported our smart borrowing initiative. And I'm happy to say that bond was oversubscribed. Simultaneously, we accessed external capital markets responsibly. From 2013 to 2016, Ghana issued 4 Eurobonds, all without default. And these were anchored in a sinking fund mechanism designed to ensure repayment. We applied over 335 million from our oil-funded sinking fund to settle maturing Eurobond liabilities. We refinanced the $200 million HIPIC era 2007 Eurobond through our 2015 World Bank guaranteed bond. And before we left office, we left sufficient reserves, enabling the next administration that came after us to pay off the balance in 2017 of the 2007 bond without distress. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not magic. It was just discipline and it was foresight. Tragically, this architecture was dismantled. Between 2017 and 2022, debt accumulation skyrocketed, and yet the framework to ensure repayment was abandoned. As a consequence, Ghana defaulted on both the domestic and external debts, a first in our post-independence history. Investors, businesses, and pensioners suffered crushing losses through the domestic debt exchange program, with crude haircuts eroding trust in the financial system. Ghana's creditworthiness was downgraded to junk status, and public sector arrears ballooned, and SMEs were squeezed out of the credit market. This was not simply a matter of global shocks. Other countries with smaller resource bases managed their recoveries much better than us. In our case, poor fiscal management, opaque collateralization of statutory funds, and disregard for procurement and accountability rules were major contributory factors. The results are visible: a loss of access to capital markets, both domestic and foreign, the collapse of investor confidence, and a shrinking private sector unable to plan, invest, or expand. Let us be honest with ourselves. A true reset must begin by learning from what worked and what was recklessly abandoned. And so the first thing to look at is, how do we lead a reset for the future? A path to recovery and resilience. Distinguished participants, despite these challenges, I remain optimistic. Ghana has what it takes to recover, not by repeating the past mistakes, but by learning from it and innovating for the future. Let me outline 8 key pillars of the economic reset that we envisage. Number 1 is completing the IMF program with discipline. We'll continue the discipline in government expenditure and borrowing and work to achieve all targets under the extended credit fund with a program with the IMF. We expect to conclude the 4th review of the IMF program in June 2025 with a target to exit at the end of the program in 2026. And thereafter, we'll participate in Article 4 consultations and adopt the policy support instrument framework, signaling Ghana's return to responsible, non-borrowing engagement with the fund. And the second is reopening domestic and international capital markets. We're working to reopen Ghana's bond market in collaboration with the IMF and our development partners, the Ghana Stock Exchange and local banks. However, future borrowing will be linked to self-financing commercially viable projects, particularly by MDAs, MMDAs, and SOEs, ensuring value for money and sustainable repayment. The third is strengthening sovereign funds and local government financing. We'll amend the Public Financial Management Act and Constitution to make contributions to the sinking and stabilization funds mandatory. It will not be optional. So a certain percentage of funds must be committed to the sinking and stabilization funds. We also intend to empower MMDAs to issue infrastructure and municipal bonds secured against a portion of their district assemblies common fund to fund infrastructure projects such as roads, schools, water systems, and local industry in the districts. And the fourth is clearing verified arrears and rationalizing public investment. The Auditor General is completing an audit of arrears and commitments, government commitments, and we expect to receive his report by the end of May. We'll then commence to clear legitimate arrears transparently and enforce commitment controls through the gift mix and the IPSAS-based accounting systems. New projects will be prioritized based on need, funding availability, and alignment with our national interest. And the fifth is accelerating public financial management reforms, and we have started that already. We amended the PFMA to include fiscal responsibility clauses. We'll reactivate stalled reforms, including the Treasury Single Account TSA, the Integrated Tax Administration System, and real-time budget monitoring tools to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and to curb corruption. And the sixth is revitalizing exports through Ghana Exim Bank. The Ghana Exim Bank will be repositioned to support non-traditional exports and agro-processing, light manufacturing, and SMEs, enhancing foreign exchange inflows and creating jobs in the real economy. Our Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda will also roll out massive investments in oil palm, in cocoa, cashew, shea, and other high-value tree crops. With two of our major export commodities, gold and cocoa, enjoying a good run in international markets, we will build our reserves and buffers to create the resilience to withstand any future global shocks. And then the seventh is building Ghana into a regional hub for trade and investment. We envision Ghana as West Africa's commercial, transport, and digital services hub. Our reset will prioritize port expansion, financial services, health, education, and industrial corridors, linking Ghanaian business to the African Continental Free Trade Area and beyond. And then 8 is resuming infrastructure development to stimulate growth. Infrastructure investment is not optional. We'll resume priority projects in the roads, energy, water, housing, and urban renewal sectors, not through reckless borrowing, but through innovative financing systems like the Big Push, PPPs, and other strategic partnerships. So now, what does this reset mean for business? Distinguished CEOs, this reset will only succeed with the private sector at its core. We're restoring macroeconomic stability not as an end in itself, but as a platform for private investment. And in that regard, we will ensure policy predictability to enable medium and long-term planning for you. Access to credit and capital markets will not crowd you out. We'll borrow responsibly and restrain ourselves in government borrowing so that the rest of the credit is available for you to expand your businesses. Consultation with industry will occur before any major reforms are done. And finally, a fiscal environment that rewards value creation and not rent seeking. And so, like I said, you will not only be consulted in major government policy, you will be empowered to take advantage of it. We'll institutionalize a national business consultative platform to bring government and the private sector together biannually, twice a year, for policy feedback, reform monitoring, and joint priority setting. And I'm pleased to say this was one of the promises I made to you, that we'll consult twice a year on government policy so that you give us the feedback on how it is affecting your businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2008, Ghana became a lower middle income country. That milestone was based on sound policy and institutional reforms. Today, the opportunity exists for us to move further to become an upper middle income country with a diversified economy, resilient institutions, and a dynamic private sector. To get there, we must reset, and reset with discipline, with purpose and unity. On government's part, I wish to assure you that we'll maintain the current fiscal discipline and work to maintain a conducive environment for your businesses to thrive. Let me take the opportunity to commend those of you who have responded to the cedi's appreciation by reducing prices of your products and services, and thereby passing some of the relief from the hardship to Ghanaians. And so, Oka and all of you, thank you very much. GPRTU, thank you very much. And so, for those of you who have not responded yet, please pass on some of the cedi appreciation to Ghanaians. The time has come for us to lift the gloom, to restore confidence, and to build again. And as I said in my inauguration, Ghana is open for business again. Let this summit mark the beginning of a new compact between the public and private sectors, a compact of mutual accountability, shared risks, and shared rewards. Together we can lead Ghana's economic reset, and in doing so lay the foundations for a more prosperous, inclusive, and secure future for our people. I thank you all for your kind attention, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
The President of our Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. President, if it pleases you, I would like to invite to join you here our convener, together with the Chair of the CEOs Network, Professor Ernest Abochi. For General Insurance, the CEO of Enterprise Insurance, Akosia Ansa Enchi. CEO of the Year 2024, Private Chairman of the KGL Group, Mr. Lex Apau Dade. Also received for Trade Technology Product Sector, the CEO of the Year is the CEO of the Omega Group, Andrew Nana Kufuor. Enterprise Technology Sector, ladies and gentlemen, Emerging CEO 2024, the founder and CEO. CEO of the Year 2024, Real Estate, Large Scale, the CEO of Clifton Homes, and for the Poly Products, Tangsok Mohinani. Ladies and gentlemen, we proceed to also acknowledge the Agribusiness 24, the country head, Agri Olam, Group CEO of the Media General, Madam Beatrice Ajeman. Sector Downstream Petroleum Leadership Excellence Award goes to the CEO. Insurance sector, ladies and gentlemen, the Group CEO of the Year 2020. CEO of the Year, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Rockstar Roofing Systems Limited. Private Health Insurance Drinks, and the CEO of the Year 2024 goes to the CEO of Special Group of Companies, Dr. Ernest Ofori Sapong. Health Consultancy Human Resource. He also receives the Entrepreneur of the Year Award in the Entrepreneur category to Commodities Limited, Hajia Maria Adamu Zibo. Hospitality Hotels, ladies and gentlemen, the General Manager, Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Accra, Hanoff Bakoff, Engineer Edward Ekpo Obing, Ken Insurance, I beg your pardon, Madam Jacqueline Benyin, ask that we all rise and affirm our beliefs and faith in our nation. God bless our homeland.
PRIZM Multimedia. When you go so share, now me say akwenya no ho de maw, say wo be subscribe, ye the video to ma, why you the first person I won sabet me aso ye video mu, na wo so so we o man ba pa no wetumi ehunu ne ekoso e wo man mu. Like adintre bi so ho na opese wuja, fato comment section ni mu. Edi ba ko pe na fa frame make meje so. Me si ha da mu nyina nwase mamomoni tia ye je me enyado.